One of the most difficult things to do is getting people to listen. Truly listen. And not just hear. When it comes to someone being talented, like a Bruce Lee or something, where somebody gets good at something, then he can capture that audience from his talents, and then the audience may then eventually be willing to listen. Children, it's natural for them to listen because they are completely open at a young age. It's only when children start getting closer to becoming an adult that they begin to not listen and their ego starts kicking in, and now they no longer want to listen to anybody unless there is some type of attraction. So it doesn't really, when it comes to truth can be spoken from anybody. It could be coming from the so-called smartest, one of the smartest people in the community who has a PhD, or it could be coming from somebody on the streets, even a homeless person, or somebody that has no degrees. And in order to really understand life, a person has to be able to see truth from the false, and he must be able to see that within himself. He must not be dependent on the outside people to make that determination for him. You know, when it comes to like martial arts ability and being good at certain techniques, it just gains the attention of the crowd. And if a person who's watching has too much of an ego, it doesn't matter how great the person is. If the person still doesn't want to listen, he will just not listen. So it doesn't matter how great a person gets. It doesn't mean that he could penetrate into, the mind of the person watching if the person isn't open in which to listen to other ways. So a lot of times people would get PhDs, strive for years and years, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and spend many years studying to get a PhD in order to hopefully get more people to listen. Because a lot of people will be like, well, this person has a PhD, so he must know what he's talking about. Well, that's the deficiency in the thought, is that you start putting the responsibility on other people to make the determination for you on whether or not, when this person's speaking, if he's even worth listening to. You have to be able to come up with that ability on your own, to be able to see the truth when it is spoken, and not have to be attracted to the titles or to the talent, and assume that just because this person's good at singing, that everything that he does and everything that he says is the truth. Or that just because this person is good at golf or basketball or martial arts or fighting, that this person knows the, truth, that this person, everything that he does and speaks is the way, and get tricked into the idea of thinking that, oh, just because this person doesn't have a degree, and this person didn't graduate from high school, or this person doesn't have a lot of money, he doesn't know anything, and that everything that he speaks is false. You have to be able to see beyond the exterior and be able to realize the truth when it is spoken or when you see it. If you're able to do that, then you will develop a lot of wisdom in life. Because there's a lot of false out there, and it gets very confusing for people, because we're especially in this time and age where there's so much free exchange of information from all over the world that it becomes a great confusion. Everybody's trying to teach something, and it gets harder and harder to see what reality is and what truth is. We're bombarded by advertisements. People are always trying to sell us things, and there's gimmicks everywhere, and sometimes people will try to teach certain things because they're getting some profit out of it, or is profit motivated, or they say certain things because there's some money in it for them. And the reality is very difficult to see unless you develop that ability to find it within yourself and see it for yourself, and you don't need somebody else to make that determination for you. I think this is very important for everybody to understand, and this is a time and age where it's very needed, because I see a lot of people that are being misguided into thinking that something is real when it is false.